So today's installment is we're going to make a front bar for the Porsche. So we've made the rear bar, which I didn't really do much of a video for because I was rushed and impatient. But today we're going to do a bar for the front of the Porsche to take the winch. So we're going to make a hoop come right round and then a few support bars underneath. Now luckily these have a big enough area behind the front bar there to run a winch, so the winch will be in behind the number plate. So anyway, we'll start taking some measurements and get into it. So the first night of bar preparation was a total shambles. I thought I'd sneak the old crash bar out from under the front bar and blah blah blah. Anyway, it mounts the radiator, so that wasn't going to happen. So we had to take the front of the car off, cut the crash bar apart. Now I've left the original mounts to the crash bar there, cut it off and lineaged it all back and made mine separate plates for the actual winch to mount on. Now people, that bolt pattern there is nowhere near square in any shape, rhyme or reason. So if you're going to do this yourself, I personally would make, which I could show you later if anyone wants to know, I just made like a cardboard template similar to how you'd make a gasket and then trace that onto the plate, because that is nowhere near square in any way, shape or form. So now the next part is we've got some tube here making it fit the bar. Now the bar doesn't have a straight edge on it, it is round, so ideally I need to get the tube rolled, but that ain't going to happen. So we're just going to try and sneak it in the bender and just do a 1 degree bend every 100 mil, 150 mil, and just see if we can sort of replicate that shape the best we can without it looking like a 50-cent piece. So anyway, we'll move the car out, get the bender set up and see if we can replicate it. So what we've done is I've marked every 150 mil along here. That's the middle of the tube here. So I'm just going to sneak like a degree or two. We'll start here in the middle. And just do 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, 1 degree, and then we'll go and try it against the front bar, and we'll see whether we can get a good enough radius, or it's a waste of time and throw the material away. So, but yeah, at this stage we'll give that a whirl and see what happens. So first attempt, as you can see, we've got a slight curve in it. When you look at this is the bit we haven't started. Slight curve in it. I'm going to have to put a bit more in the first two bends by the looks of it. But yeah, we're just going to have to slowly work our way around until we can get a radius into it. Or we take the tube and get it rolled. But where's the fun in that? So we're at 2 degrees on the first one, so we'll take that to 4 degrees. Because we needed to sneak up a bit more. So that's 4 degrees. So we'll go through and make sure they're all at 4 degrees. So there you go, we're actually starting to get the shape of the bar. So I reckon another 1 to 2 degrees on all of them, and then we're going to start going tighter, obviously, for this end. But 1 to 2 degrees, and we're going to be pretty close, I reckon. So after a bit of fucking around, you saw me bending the first half, so we've now bent the second half. It's pretty close to being even, it's not 100%. Both of them, it kicks out a little bit further here than the shape of the bar, which probably isn't a bad thing because I'm getting old and can't see very well, so it'll just protect it. So there we go, that's it all radiused, I suppose you'd say. Alright, so the next piece of the puzzle is the supports for the tube to the mounts that you would have already seen on the rail, on the front of the chassis rail. So effectively we're going to notch them like that, the same shape as the same angle as the bar, and then we'll notch into here for the tube. Now all this shit's made out of 6mm box, as is the plate on the chassis is 6mm. This tube, as I think I did mention earlier, is not chromoly, it's mild steel. So it's a 4mm wall, 1 5/8" diameter. So I'm lucky enough to have a decent notcher, so we'll throw these in the notcher and notch out for the tube. Alright, so this is my notching. Mainly I use this for the roll cages, but you can put rectangle in it. So then we line the notcher up on this angle, and then I can just run the hole saw through, and then that'll leave what we need for the tube to weld. So it fits the edges nicely. So there's the notched one, so you can see there, that's how, so now we can get a decent weld, good penetration around it. Obviously, don't be mistaken, these are on the inside, so now we've just got to cut them to length and just move them in and out until we're happy with where we want the bit of tube to sit. Alright people, so I snuck ahead a little bit, so we have the main bar all sort of around the front. As I said, perfectly, it should be rolled. We've folded, like just, I think there's 12 bends in this front bar just to get it to go around that shape. So anyway, it is a bit slightly different just here side to side, but it is what it is. Next time I'd get it rolled. So I snuck ahead. We've done the brace there that's going underneath the radiator support to both sides, and I'm going to tie that into the 4 bolts that the factory skid plate goes under the radiator support, and then we're going to put 2 diagonals in under here so we can make a bash plate. And then I'll tack all that up, pull it off, weld it, put some winch mounts in it, and then recovery points, which will go basically each side where the chassis rails are. And yeah, we've kept it low without going too stupid low. I'm trying to protect the engine as such and the cross member without it looking too dicky. But anyway, that's where we're at. Alright, so I've gone ahead and made recovery points. These are going to be the winch mounts, bar ends and tabs for the skid plate. I did film a lot of this, but dumbass has a new camera and I filmed it all on photo, not video, so unfortunately you didn't get to see all these things get made. But now we're going to tack them all onto the bar and weld them up. So I'm just making the cover plate for the front, so that's the shape obviously. We're going to use some dimple dies, which are these dies here. I made these dies before you could buy them. That's how long I've been using dimples for. So I would have made these 20 odd years ago out of, that's axle material. So yeah, we'll put some dimple die holes in it, and then it'll go on the front and just add a bit of wow factor. So I've hole sawed all the holes, and now we're going to dimple them all to give it that racy look. So here's the bar all welded up. There's the recovery points. So we're just getting it ready to paint. And yeah, and there's the skid plate for the front. So hopefully have it ready to go on the car today. So there's the bar all painted, the bash plate on it, ready to go on the car tomorrow. Here we go, people. What the front bar looks like. As I said, next time I would get the tube rolled but I think we didn't do too bad a job considering we were just using the bender. I have done an actual whole video on the build, so that'll be up soon. But there we go, bash plate and all. So that's about as far as the mods will go for this car for a while, until I work out what winch I've got to put in. That's about the only thing. And get back onto the MOG and start getting it ready for its big trip.